Hi guys, it's Angie and welcome to my Flosstube channel. It is the end of the year. I'm so excited. If you are returning, I'm happy to have you back, and this should be a lot of fun for you because you will probably remember a lot of what I'm going to show you today. And if you're new, welcome, and you'll get to see a lot today. I hope you enjoy what you see and are willing to come back because this is fun. Quick backstory for anybody who is new. I started my Flosstube channel in May of this year, and it was mainly to help me get through the last few months of my husband's year-long deployment and COVID. We all found that we needed to do something to help kind of get us through COVID. We're not obviously through it yet, but this was a big distraction and it was a big help. Let's see, I discovered Flosstubes. It sounds so weird when you say that, doesn't it? But I discovered the whole world of Flosstube in like November, December of 2019. Up until that point, I pretty much was a monogamous stitcher on anything you could buy at Michael's, and that was it. Dimensions kits were pretty much what I had. So I would stitch one kit. It could take anywhere from 1 to 5 years to get one kit done because I would get bored. And then I would try to find another kit, and unfortunately Dimensions did not always have what I really loved. And so I ended up with a few finished products on my walls, but it wasn't until I discovered Flosstube and all of these amazing stores and websites that I really realized what I was missing. And obviously when you see my WIP list and my finish list and everything, you'll see where my niche is. I'm kind of a geek, kind of a nerd stitcher. I enjoy a lot of things that are nerdy, I guess you could say. They make me happy. So first, welcome to my WIP parade. We're gonna go through everything that I've worked on, everything I've finished, and I will give you some stats about all of those, and then that will be the video. So this is my end of year fun WIP parade, I guess. First, I thought I'd go ahead and start with the finishes, and I do not have all of them here because many of them were gifts, so I will insert a picture if I do not have it. If you see me go like this, that just means I'm putting the picture in, and it's a habit. The picture, I don't know where it will be. It will be wherever it works best for the video. So first is Spock. Most of you should remember Spock because I just fully finished it and showed it off last week. So here's Spock. This was given to my mom, who loves it, and she uses it as a giant hug from her daughter, so I love it. That makes me happy. But Spock had 12,318 stitches put into him. I believe I started him right around the time that I started this video, but I didn't work on him consistently. Every project I have, I work on, and it ebbs and flows, obviously. I mean, you're pretty familiar with that. Most Flosstube channels you see, people have multiple WIPs and they only work on them when they can. I try not to have a huge WIP list, which unfortunately now I do have a very large WIP list, but it's still smaller than what I think the average is. And many of these hopefully can be finished next year. All right, so anyway, moving on. This one, if you are brand new, you will not have seen. If you are older, you probably may remember it in my first WIP parade ever. But this is one I started and finished before I even started my Flosstube channel. So this one I started in January and finished in April. And this is Wacky Witches by Cloudsfactory. This is one of the first patterns I bought. And I saw this on Michelle Bendy Stitchy's wall. And she had mentioned she gets asked about it a lot because it's a fairly prominent piece behind her when she films. And so she said what it was, and I immediately went and picked it up. And I love it, and it's super cute. And I just have not found the right frame for it yet. So this is Wacky Witches and Stitches by Cloudsfactory, and I put 13,102 stitches in this. Okay, my next finish was Wedding Birds, And here's your picture. This was a wedding present for a friend of mine who got married in May, and this had 4,333 stitches. And I also stitched Families Are Forever right here. And this one was also given to her for her wedding, and this was 233 stitches. All right, then we have this one, which is also a gift that has been given for my sister-in-law, and it's called Let's Bake. And Let's Bake has 3,144 stitches in it. And then this one you will also remember because I just fully finished it, but it's the Harry Potter pillow right here. And this one was well loved as well. It's 9,193 stitches. All right, so then we have probably my all-time favorite finish of the year, my Stranger Things. Many of you may remember how much fun I had with this because not only did I very much enjoy stitching Stranger Things itself, but then I made the frame. I didn't like make the frame, I bought the frame and then I painted it and then I strung it with the lights and I did the cricket, or not cricket, but I did the letters from the silhouette and I put it all together. So this is probably my favorite. So there we have Stranger Things, and Stranger Things had 5,811 stitches in it. Then you guys will remember, and unfortunately I do not have it up here, or I'd show it off up here. It's downstairs somewhere. But here is Mass Effect Sampler that I made for my husband, who he very much likes. And this one had 11,914 stitches in it. Then we have I'd Rather Be Ghost Hunting. This was one of my Halloween Dark October, I think it is. This one is 1,245 stitches. This does not have 12,000 stitches. 1,245. And then my most recent finish, which was just a couple days ago. You saw this before, but it just had a little bit more to be done. Mary and Minty. Not fully finished because it needs a frame. So he's done. I didn't actually, on this pattern, it has Santa stringing up lights on the tree. And I did not do the lights on here because when I was trying to make the rope for the light strands, it looked stupid. I blame the fabric. It's not my favorite fabric. And I just felt like Santa putting the candy canes on the tree was just nice enough. So Mary and Minty had 2,246 stitches. And I'm just gonna double check. Those are all my finishes. That's 10 finishes this year. That's pretty good. And I would say at least 5 of them are considered large projects if you go by a standard. I don't know if it's standard. I know that for Magical Stitches for this new year, we had to create a WIP list with all of the projects that we are working on or may be working on in this year. And then we had to add the stitch count and do this little math thing and to determine whether or not the project was considered large, medium, or small. And under that parameter, Spock, Wacky Witches, the Wedding Birds, Let's Bake, Harry Potter Pillow, Stranger Things, Mass Effect, and I think Mary and Minty. No, not Mary and Minty, but Mass Effect. Those are all considered large projects. So fun. It's so fun. I think Mary and Minty and Ghost Hunters would be considered medium, and then the Families Are Forever was considered small. So, all right, new items. I did not get any stitchy stuff for Christmas. I don't actually expect it because, first of all, my husband is the only person in my family that knows I have a Flosstube channel at all. this is not meant to be, ooh, uber popular channel, and this is not meant to be that. This is meant to be fun. And as long as I'm having fun sharing my projects, then I will continue to do so. If it starts to feel like a chore or a job, at that point, it's no longer fun. So right now, this is just fun. So I'm not, you know, out advertising. I'm not trying to monetize. I'm not doing Patreon. I'm not doing any of that because I'm just trying to have, it's just, this is for me. This is for a distraction for me, really. And if you're enjoying it, then it's a bonus and that makes me happy. So when I say to my family, I'd love a cross-stitch gift certificate, I don't think they quite realize how much I would love that. And so I get other things, and the other things were absolutely fabulous, so that's just fine too. Last year for Christmas, my husband did get me a really nice cross-stitch stand. Here's a picture. So that was that was wonderful. But this year, you know, he got me something I actually really needed, and it wasn't cross-stitch related. But my grandma sent me some money, and so that money is going towards some new stitching. And so I already bought 4 new things. First is Bumblebee cat, and here's the picture because I don't have a cover photo to hold up. This is actually just like 2 stitches above what's considered a small in that algorithm I just shared a minute ago. I need to ask them if I can still, it's like 109 and they said up to 100 is considered a small. Like, oh, because I need smalls. I don't have any smalls. Anyway, this is going to be for my second daughter. I'm stitching one already for my oldest, so this will be for my youngest daughter. She loves the color yellow. She loves cats. This is perfect. So that is going to be something I work on this year. I have this one, which is a small. It's teeny tiny, but it's going to go on our cross-stitch game wall, Nuka Cola pattern. All of these I got from Etsy, and I will either have the link in the description or I'll have it, not the link, but the name of the store and stuff in here. It depends on how much editing I plan to do. I picked up this pattern. This is called Sherlock. I think it might be a different name, but I call it Sherlock. This is also from Etsy, and this is not as big as I expected it to be, but it's going to be a lot of fun. This is based off of the Benedict Cumberbatch BBC Sherlock series, which if you have not seen it is fabulous. It is so good. I've discovered I really love, I mean, I've always known that I like BBC dramas, but I really, really am starting to appreciate what the BBC puts out there a lot more when I see quality shows like Sherlock that are really well thought out. I mean, if an entire season is only 3 episodes long, you know it's going to be good because they have, I mean, each of those episodes is almost the full-length movie. Not quite, but close. It's a good series. Anyway, so this was one that's going to be a lot of fun to do. And then I needed an alphabet pattern. And I didn't want it to be a sampler that had an alphabet thrown in there. I wanted it to be a specific alphabet pattern because for semi-sane stitchers, they're doing alphabet where each month you're going to be, like for the first 2 weeks it's going to be stitch on A in your pattern. And so the idea is that it's like a stitch along throughout the year. And so in those first 2 weeks, you want to get the whole A done. And then that way the next 2 weeks you get to work on B and C. And I didn't want it to be a pattern where it's random. I wanted it to be very specific. But I also wanted it to be something that I really, really loved. And I have been looking for the last month and a half for a good alphabet pattern. And I finally narrowed it down between this Avatar alphabet and horror movie alphabet. And I may still pick up the horror movie one in the future because I do really like it. But I did pick up Avatar. And this is what it looks like. And this is going to be great. It's family friendly, which is fantastic. That's, my husband helped me decide because he said, you know, if you do the horror, it's for you. If you do the alphabet, it's one the whole family can enjoy. So he said, I can choose what I want, but he'd be leaning more towards Avatar. So we're going to do Avatar because our whole family loves Avatar. There will be some changes. I'm not going to go into all of it now, but I am making some big changes to this pattern because I feel like they left out, well, first of all, Momo's not on here, Appa's not on here, Azula's not on here, Suki is not on here, that's 4 very main characters. Who else isn't on here? There was somebody else. Oh, Ty Lee is not on here. They have May, but they don't have Azula, and they don't have Ty Lee, which, those are all, Azula, I mean, hello, Zuko is on here, but Azula is a main character, and I know why they did that. They did that because Aang is obviously going to be A, so you can't put Appa there, and you can't put Azula there. But I have already gone through over this weekend, and I've charted my own characters for all of those people, and I've figured out where I'm going to insert them, because they also have characters in this pattern that don't make sense to me because they are super minor characters that really don't further the story along in any way. They're just sort of in there. I get why they did it. Those characters work with that letter. I'm changing it. So Momo's gonna be in there. Appa's gonna be in there. Azula's gonna be in there. Ty Lee is in there. And Boomy will be in there as well. So as I'm working it, I will show you what I've done. And I've already done all the recharting on my own, so that's ready to go. I'm super excited for it. And that gives me confidence so that when I do in the future do the horror movie one, I can take out the ones that I don't know or from the movies I've never seen and maybe insert my own. That's what I love about this art form, right? You can take a pattern and you can alter it to fit your own personality, and it makes it even better. I altered the Harry Potter pillow a little bit. I've altered my giant Harry Potter a lot, and there's still a lot more altering I'm gonna do to make it fit me better. Now I'm not turning around and recharting the whole thing and selling it. That would be, illegal and wrong. But that's why I love this. I can take this and make it my own and still love, I'm so excited. It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so that's all my new stuff. That's my finishes. I will go ahead and mention really quick, I have 2 patterns that are UFO'd, unfinished. I am not planning to ever stitch them again. They're completely off my radar and out of my mind. So there was Nightmare Before Christmas Stained Glass, and just a caveat to this, I think this particular pattern that I picked up from the shop I picked it up from, I'm guessing it probably was not an original art piece to this shop because somebody sent me a link to it's pretty much the exact same pattern, but this pattern, it's much clearer, more defined, everything is much sharper, and it actually looks like it's probably the original pattern. So my guess is I probably got a copy that was probably not a legal pattern, so I'm okay with not finishing it. But this is where I got on the stained glass, and that was 669 stitches. I'm contemplating buying that other pattern that I think is the original. I don't know yet. I have another Nightmare Before Christmas pattern that I like from Tilton Crafts, and maybe I'll start that, maybe I won't, I don't know. We'll see. The other unfinished is another Avatar pattern. It's one that when I see the picture, I think it looks great, I like it, but it turns out it's a lot larger. I didn't read the stitch count. It's quite a bit larger than I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be kind of a quick, small, fit it in a 5x7 frame. I don't even think it would fit in an 8x10 frame. It was quite a bit larger. And so I realized I did not want to be stitching in solid colors that many stitches on this pattern because I didn't love it that much. So this is where I got to. That was 424 stitches, and I decided, nope, not gonna do it. So now we get to go on to the WIPs, and here are all of the projects that I am working on, and so excited. So just to start, most of these I started this year, but a couple of these I started in 2019. So if I started in 2019, I am going to post the picture of where it was when I started working on it in January. So some of these will already have stitches in them from before 2020. I'm also going to just go ahead, I'm not gonna be like, here's the picture of what it should look like. I am just gonna pop in a picture of what the end product should look like so you can see what the finished product will look like. and I will just go from there. So I'm just saying that now so I don't have to keep mixing up my words. So first off, this is not my oldest WIP, but it is my second oldest, and this is Map of Middle-earth. I started this in November of 2019, so here is what it looked like when I started in January, and here we are now. It looks amazing, doesn't it? I love it. I wish that I had known about Heaven and Earth Designs when they had this particular pattern on there, because I imagine it would be a lot more detailed. I find that from far away the words look pretty clear, but from up close the words are really hard to read. But I don't care. I think this looks fantastic, so I am enjoying this one very much. So Middle-earth, so far I've got 7,507 stitches this year. I did not stitch a lot on this year. I thought I would, but other projects took my attention away. So I know I need to make some goals, but I want to make sure, I think for Middle-earth I want to get a second page finish, and I think the pages are small enough I could probably get another page done. So I'd like to have at least 3 pages done on Middle-earth by the end of next year. However, I don't know how well I am at setting goals, so we'll see where I go with that. All right, my next one is Giant Harry Potter. This one I started this year, and this is where we're at. Trying to see, I can't see through it, but I think you can see it all. Yeah, this one has not gotten a lot of work super recently because I've been trying to adjust where I'm going to put all of the additions that I'm making for it. Some of the additions came from other people who shared their personal additions, and some of them that you haven't seen yet because I haven't done them yet are ones that I've charted myself and should be added soon. So this is a great one for prompts, and I'm not in any hurry to finish this, so I don't have any goals on this one. This one is just stitch on it as I feel like stitching on it and have fun with it, because that's the point, right? Have fun with them. So Giant Harry Potter has a total of 14,999 stitches. I put a lot of stitches in that baby. All right, so this one is technically my oldest WIP. If you are new to the channel, this is a Dimensions kit. This is Northern Nights by Dimensions. I actually started this pattern in 2017. However, I didn't realize, but I started it this way. And so I had stitched almost all of this amount going this way, and I was gonna run out of room on the fabric. So being the newbie to stitching I am, instead of just buying a new piece of fabric, I frogged the entire thing and restarted. So here is where I restarted this in April of 2019, and I got a whole bunch of work done on it. So here's where it was in January, and here we are now. This chart has been in timeout, however, because let me just quickly explain. This pattern, I'm running out of the colors. It is not DMC, and so I've emailed the company, I've emailed everywhere I could think of to try to get replacement threads for it so I could finish it out. I have not had any luck with that. I've taken the suggestions that I've seen from people who commented, still no luck. The problem with this is that some of these stitches are 4 strands, some are 3 strands, some are 2 strands, some are blended. Some are full cross, some are half cross, and it's a beast. And now that I'm running out of threads, I'm trying to decide if I'm just gonna try to match them up with DMC the best I can and continue on, but I don't want to keep doing the 4, 3, 2. I just want to do 2 strands across the board. So I'm worried that if I change it up, it's gonna look off if I start doing that down here and on the other side instead of what this one looks like. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just match up the colors and start over on a fresh piece of fabric and just start over doing a full cross stitch on everything with 2 strands. I could totally do that. But it's something I haven't decided on because, I mean, that's a lot of stitching. That's a lot of stitching. I don't want to just give up on. I've also thought about maybe just handing it off to somebody else and saying, hey, do you want it? But I love this pattern. So that's why this one has not had a lot of work. This one I've only put 3,048 stitches in. It has some decisions that need to be made, and I love all these other patterns that I have so much more that I haven't bothered to make those decisions. All right, next is Pavane. Now this is one I think would be fun to try to finish this year because I've done a lot of work on this. It's beautiful. I love this. I love this, love this. I'm using DMC 115, which is a variegated red floss, and that's all I'm doing on this, and it's so pretty. I love this. I do think that I could potentially finish this next year if I use this as kind of a focus and make sure that I stitch a certain amount each month on it. But again, I'm not good at making goals on these because I don't know. I'm not good at making goals with my stitching yet. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I can put some more into this because I very much love this pattern as well. You just haven't seen it in a while. So far with Pavane, I have 7,311 stitches. Next one, you guys know I love, love, love. That will be Stargazer. This one has to get finished this year. I hope to have this finished and framed by this time next year. All I have left is the beading and the rest of her dress. I've already finished 3 of the 4 pages that this pattern is. So I just need to add the accents and the beading. So, yay. So Stargazer has 5,888 stitches. And I love it. I love it. All right, the next one is Garden Prelude. This one I'm stitching for my oldest daughter, and I have not worked on this one a lot. I need to put some more time in this, but this is Garden Prelude, and I am doing custom color, a yellow dress. That's what my daughter asked for, and she has 2,303 stitches in her. Next one. This one will obviously get finished this next year because it is a stitch along, and I am very good at keeping up with this one, but this is my Dark Queen of the Sea. So here we go. I've not finished December's. Right now I've completely totaled her out at 7,667 stitches. However, I am going to make an effort between today and tomorrow to finish this part so that on Friday, when the new part comes out, I will be ready to start it. If I do, then obviously that number of what I've done for the year will be different, and maybe I'll add it in the comments in the description box in the bottom. So on Friday, if you see this video, you can check and see if I've updated my stitch count for Dark Queen. But as of right now, we're just saying 7,667. I have not done any stitching really this week. We're spending time as a family. Obviously, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. We're spending time as a family. My stitching is not more important than that. So if I don't finish this out by Friday, it's not the end of the world. It would be lovely, but it's not the end of the world. All right, the next one is 13 Colonies. This is one that I'm still kind of like, I like it, but I don't seek it out, if that makes sense. I think there has to be a very specific reason for me to pull this one out. So here is where we're at with 13 Colonies. I have not done much on this since many months ago. This has 1,591 stitches in it. I actually picked this up to kind of commemorate the fact that I was moving to Virginia, and I thought, hey, that's one of the 13 colonies. But I don't love it, so it doesn't find itself being stitched very often. But, you know, what are you gonna do? All right, the next one, Sasquatch. You guys have seen this one because I very much enjoy mythological creatures. So here's Sasquatch. He has 3,060 stitches in him so far. And he's looking good. He's got that lovely Sasquatch face. He's recognizable now. You know what he is. Okay. All right, the next one is another one that I started this as a stitch along with stitch and button, Victoria stitch and button. And I still have only done the bare minimum. So this is Mayflower's Landing. It's got 254 stitches. And that's where I'm at. Because again, it's another one that I'm like, I don't love it, but I don't know. Part of it is I'm stitching this one 1/1 like a fool. Because I wanted to try stitching it 1/1 and see how it looks. And it looks great, but oof, it's a bear on my eyes. I think this is 36 count fabric. I'm trying this because, and that's the other thing, is 13 Colonies is on 40 count fabric. But I'm doing that one 2/1. No, sorry, 2/2. No, 1/2. 13 Colonies I'm doing 1/2 on 40 count. And this is 1/1 on 36 count. And that might be why I don't like them very much, because the stitches are so small. But I figure I need to try, right? That way I can at least know for the future if I'm ever going to do this again. So there we go. Yeah, I already said 254. Okay. Next one is my Grimm's Fairy Tale Sal. I actually just recently started this. I bought this in January, but I didn't actually start stitching it until recently. Okay, here we go. Sorry, a kid outside the door. I thought they were going to walk in. So here's where I'm at with my Fairy Tale Sal. And this has, so far, 3,643 stitches. I very much enjoy this. It's a very lovely project, and it's fun to work on. It really is. But much like my Harry Potter, I am not in any hurry to finish it. I don't have this major desire to get it done quickly. It works really great for prompts, and so I like having it as a, oh, I need to be able to stitch 200 stitches on a cat. Okay, I got a cat in here, so this will work really quick. And then, so that makes it really fun. All right. So yeah, so there's Grimm's Fairy Tale. All right, and then pretty much, not quite, but most of the rest of these, back when I thought I was going to start the No New Starts 2021, so I did a bunch. A bunch of these are going to be from my Dark October, and then some of these are just going to be barely started projects that I actually don't have a whole lot of desire to stitch on a lot. Sorry, again, kids, because I was trying to get them ready for a year of No New Starts, and then I decided not to do a year of No New Starts, and so these may not get any work done. Some of these may not get any work done because I'm just waiting until I have some of these other projects finished. So it looks like I have all of these huge WIPs. Some of these were just started for that reason, and then I changed my mind. So they may not get any love for a while. And that's okay, because, you know, it's fine. This one was done for Dark October, and this is my Ornate Halloween. This one will get finished this year. I very much love this. It's really pretty. You can't really see the sparkle that's in there, but this is the Light Effects Copper color from DMC, which is not terrible. I actually don't hate it. Oh, I can hear my husband. I'm afraid one of the kids is being naughty. So this one, Ornate Halloween, sampler has 977 stitches in it. Oh no, they're laughing. Laughing is good. So that's going to get work on it. This one for sure is going to get a lot of work done on it this year because I absolutely love this. And this is Away We Ride, which is, oh, I love this one. This is another one that I just started stitching and I couldn't stop because I loved it so much. And I put a lot more attention on this than some of the other Halloween starts that I had. But I love this. And this one gets, I need to pull this one out more often. I think this should be my focus on the 13th of every month because that's dark 13. And I think this should be my focus each month because it's just beautiful. And if you haven't ever seen it, Amy Loves Toads. She did this, but instead of the ravens, she did vultures, and it is amazing. I love the look of the vultures. So I will link to her channel. I don't know which video specifically she shows them. I just know it's been within this year. If I can find it, I'll link to that video specifically, but the vultures are a nice touch on this. It makes it just a little bit creepier, I think, than just the ravens, but love it. Okay, so then for the Away We Ride, I have 2,331 stitches put in that. All right, I have Magic Study. This is my full coverage focus piece for the year, which means this will probably get a lot of love in it this year, specifically through semi-sane and magical stitches. So hopefully we'll get a lot more progress on this. Magic Study so far has 3,141 stitches. All right, this is one that I started for Dark October, and I'll probably wait again until October to work on it some more because it's cute and I enjoy it, but it is not Away We Ride. This is called Hello Halloween by Sue Hillis Designs, and this has 920 stitches in it. All right, this is another one that probably won't get any love until October again. Maybe before, but this is Halloween Mandala. This is really pretty. I very much like this, but I am not in a giant hurry to have it finished, so I probably won't buy any new Halloween patterns this year, so I'll probably just work on the ones that I already have because I went a little crazy this year. So Halloween Mandala has 1,104 stitches in it. All right, next we have the Witching Hour, which is enjoyable, but not going to be a focus. So again, not until October of this year. This has 227 stitches in it so far. This is the bottom, one of the bottom trees. This also is a pattern that's actually a Ouija board. I did not realize that, so I am going to alter some of it so it's not a Ouija board because we don't do Ouija boards in my house. Okay, this is one that World Traveler. This was the one that I got the required stitches in it for No New Starts, and then I realized I also bought it super size max color. I've got 203 stitches in it. That's it, because it is super confettied, and I found that I was really annoyed at it the whole time, which is really sad because Sasquatch is super confettied and I'm not annoyed at it. So I went ahead and I trusted my gut, and I know that if you watch a lot of Flosstube or if you're on any Haid Facebook pages, they say, oh, if you're going to do an Amy Stewart, it has to be supersize max color. Well, if it annoys you, it doesn't. So I went ahead, and when she was having a sale, I went ahead and just bought the supersized regular color, not the max color. It went from having over 200 colors in it to, I believe, having 89 colors. Maybe a little bit more than that, I can't remember. But, which is a lot more manageable, in my opinion, for me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just finish it that way. And yes, I know the level of detail is going to be different, but I have seen on those same Facebook pages, people will compare. They'll put up, this is what it looks like with standard size, here's super size, and here's super size max color. And between these two, there is a difference, but it's not so much that it's not going to ruin the pattern. It's still going to look pretty. So this one's going to get some work on it, and it's going to be mainly done with just the regular amount of colors. And I think that will be very helpful to my sanity because this is a very big project. So yeah, that one has 203 stitches in it so far. This one was started for no new starts. I very much enjoyed stitching on it, so I think around June and July I will probably pull this out to work on more. This is Liberty's Welcome. I only needed 200 stitches and I ended up just keeping on going to get 275 on this. I was doing this during a 24 hours of cross stitch marathon, and so I did stop. I probably wouldn't have if I had just used this as a one-day focus or something. I would have just gone and gone and gone. This was a lot of fun to stitch, and I've only started the border. My guess is when I get to the gigantic house in the middle, I might be changing my tune because I hear houses are fun to stitch. Although Away We Ride has a house and I loved it. So Liberty's Welcome, I will do more work on this year. All right, this one, it's kind of a finish and it's kind of not. This is part of Candy Corn by Sue Hillis. This is actually finished for one of the ornaments. It is a pattern with lots of different ornaments. This is one full ornament that is finished. But I had the fabric cut so I could add at least two or three more ornaments on here. And I have 2 pattern books, so I'm including them all on this one piece of fabric. So you will see this more. I'm not actually going to create the ornament of this until I'm finished with all of the stitching on this fabric. So it is a finish and it's not. That's why I didn't count it in my finishes, but trick or treat. This again, I'll work on this in October. I might pull this one out and work on it for some of the Dark 13 as well, so that I have a couple ornaments to put on my Halloween tree in October. I don't know, we'll see. All right, this one, Candy Corn has 489 stitches. This one is Seeds of Freedom. The pattern is beautiful. Again, maybe we'll work on this in June or July timeframe. Or if I need to stitch words or something for a prompt, this one will be great. Seeds of Freedom has 203 stitches in it so far. And then this one, I'm torn. So this is Pandemic. Let me just hold it up for you. Pandemic has 467 stitches in it. I decided to stitch this one as a stitch along with Vicky from Reading and Stitching on Flosstube. She's also the headmistress of Magical Stitches. She has a black piece of Aida, and she is, every time one of her groups that she's in has a color prompt, such as stitch this color for this many stitches, she pulls out Pandemic and does it on this. And I said, what a great idea, I'm going to start that with you. But I'm going to do it on white, and so we'll be contrasting. I started doing that, and I don't love it. I thought, okay, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll take certain parts of the border and just do that in black. So like the whole outer border will be black, and then certain parts, because if you'll notice in the design, it's separated by things. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just do that. But I don't love it. I really don't love it. I'm tempted to restart it and just say, hey, Vicky, I'm sorry. I don't think I can do this. I really like the pattern Pandemic, and I want to love it when I'm stitching on it. But I don't think I care much for the colors. And maybe it's just the colors I chose. I don't know. But I kind of feel like it's a monochromatic piece. I kind of feel like doing like what I'm doing with Pavane, but with a different color. So maybe a black and a white or a blue. I could imagine a really heavily variegated blue would look fantastic with this. So I don't see myself pulling Pandemic out very often because I'm not loving the way it's looking so far. I don't know. But this is my last WIP. That's my last piece. To be honest, I don't think you're going to see much of this one this year until I figure it out. So with all of that, I went ahead and I updated all of my, in Magical Stitches, there is a category called the Outrageous Headmistress Challenge where you update all of your pieces with your stitches every 1,000 stitches you get on it. And that way you can keep a running total of how much you've stitched this year. Now, I don't always count my back stitching. It's hard enough to count your stitches as you're going. Pattern Keeper is great for that. I love it when I can put my patterns in there because it counts my stitching for me, and it's only off when I have to frog and then continue on. So I do have to keep track of that, but I don't always count my back stitching. So a lot of times if I add back stitching at the end of a project, I don't count it. And so there's a lot of stitches in here that are not counted because I don't want to deal with counting my back stitching. That's a pain in the butt. But for everything that I've shown you, all of my finishes, my unfinished projects, and my current WIPs for the year, and this of course does not count if I add anything to Dark Queen, which I will, again, if I add to Dark Queen, I will put it in the description at the end or on Friday so that you can see my actual total. But for the total stitches for the year 2020, I have done 132,450 stitches, which I'm guessing compared to a lot of floss tubers is probably not that much. But for me, this is fantastic. I did not think I could come close to 100,000. And then in October, when I thought I was getting close, I thought maybe I'd squeak in and hit 100,000, and I blew 100,000 out of the park. So that's fantastic. I stitched every single month of this year. I even stitched in June and July when I was moving, just not a whole lot. This has been a fantastic stitchy year for me. Again, I don't have a lot of goals for the year as far as what I'm going to do. I just want to keep up with my challenges. I opted to be on a team for Magical Stitches because I feel like I stitch enough that I can be beneficial to a team setting. So there's that. And then I'm trying not to overwhelm myself by being a part of too much. I found that I enjoy being part of, I'm looking to see if I've got my planner, which I do. I'm part of Semi-Sane Stitches as well, but you know, I'm just doing the challenges that look interesting as they come. This is my planner for the new year. This is my 2021 one. I've already started getting it set up the way I want. Each week, so I've got my month, and then each week I'll have my page for the weekly challenges that I write in. And then at the end of each month, I have this was an idea brought up by Sammy J that I really loved, where you write all your WIPs, and then you can write along here which ones you worked on what day, and you can write your tallies. So it's a better way of tracking exactly what you do each month. She is able to do an end of each month tally, which I like. I couldn't tell you how many stitches I put on any one project in any month because that was a pain in the butt to try to even tally. So I've got that for each month. I just need to start filling stuff out. I also have a few that I need to insert into here for the challenges, the yearly challenges for Magical Stitches. For Magical Stitches, also with reading, I can't really give you, I didn't even think about it ahead of time. Sorry, reading stats. I did not read all the books I needed to read for December. December was busy and crazy. You know, it is what it is. I do the best I can. This is a long video. It's longer than what I normally do. And so my phone is now running out of storage, so I need to end the video. But I did find out I've read 58 books this year, which is fantastic. And hopefully next year I will be able to read more. We'll see. Each year I read a little bit more. Listen. I know a lot of people don't count listening to audiobooks as reading, but I figure you're getting the same information I don't think it really matters how you're getting the information. Whether you see the information with your eyes or you hear it with your ears, it's still a book. You're still getting the information from the book. And in my opinion, if it's got a good narrator, you're getting a better story when you listen to it, because, I don't know, my imagination works better that way. So I count it as reading. Some of the books I read, some of them I listened to, I can listen to them while I stitch. It's perfect. So I'm gonna say, this has been a great year for stitching. I've had a lot of fun doing this Flosstube thing. There are a few of you that comment religiously, and I love it. And I really enjoy reading your comments, so thank you. If you don't normally comment, please feel free to leave one. I'd love to hear from you. I really enjoy sharing my stitching with you. I love hearing about your stitching, or even your ideas for what to do with mine to make it better. It's been wonderful. I hope that 2021 is far better than 2020. And I hope everybody has a happy new year. Thanks so much for watching and coming back, and I appreciate it. So we'll see you next year. Bye.